What if the secret to finishing what you start isn't about motivation, but about how you think, act, and set up your daily life? Welcome to Simplified Whispers, where powerful ideas from life-changing books are turned into simple, relatable lessons you can actually use. No fluff, just clarity. In Finish What You Start, Peter Hollins breaks down the psychology and habits behind consistent follow-through. This isn't a book about willpower. It's a practical guide to building discipline, focus, and systems that help you finish anything you start. Whether you're struggling with procrastination, distractions, or just staying consistent, this book hands you the mindset and tools to finally follow through on your goals. Chapter 1. Stop thinking, just execute. In the first chapter of Finish What You Start, Peter Hollins tackles the biggest obstacle to getting things done: overthinking. He explains that many people stay stuck in planning, analyzing, and waiting for the perfect moment instead of taking action. This hesitation is often rooted in fear of failure, perfectionism, or simply a lack of momentum. Hollins argues that execution, not endless preparation, is the key to progress. He encourages readers to take the first step quickly, even if it's imperfect, and adopt a prototype mindset where action leads to improvement through trial and error. Hollins also introduces the concept of temptation bundling, pairing an unpleasant task with something enjoyable to make starting easier. He explains that successful follow-through relies on cultivating focus, discipline, and persistence. The real barriers aren't just time or distractions, but internal patterns like self-doubt and fear of judgment. By shifting from thinking to doing and building small wins early on, we can develop the habit of execution and overcome the mental resistance that holds us back. Chapter 2. Staying hungry. In this chapter, Peter Hollins focuses on the power of motivation and internal drive, what he calls staying hungry. He argues that consistent follow-through comes not from discipline alone, but from having a strong emotional connection to your goals. When you're truly hungry for something, whether it's success, change, or personal growth, you naturally push through discomfort and setbacks. Hollins emphasizes that it's not enough to want something abstractly. You need to feel the urgency and clearly understand why it matters to you. He also explains that this hunger must be regularly recharged. Motivation can fade if we don't actively remind ourselves of our purpose and visualize what success will look and feel like. One powerful technique he suggests is reflecting on what's at stake, what you stand to lose if you don't act. By tapping into emotional clarity and fueling your desire, Hollins shows that staying hungry is the foundation for long-term follow-through and achievement. Chapter 3. Create a manifesto. In this chapter, Peter Hollins introduces the idea of creating a personal manifesto, a written declaration of your values, goals, and reasons for taking action. He explains that when we clearly define what we stand for and why our goals matter, we build a stronger mental and emotional framework for follow-through. A manifesto acts as a constant reminder of your deeper purpose, helping to cut through distraction, hesitation, and doubt when motivation runs low. Hollins emphasizes that this isn't about writing a fancy mission statement. It's about making your intentions concrete and visible. Whether it's a few lines scribbled in a notebook or a note on your phone, your manifesto should reflect what drives you, what you're aiming for, and what kind of person you want to be. By reviewing it regularly, you reinforce your commitment and stay anchored when willpower fades. Ultimately, the manifesto becomes a personal compass, helping you stay focused, accountable, and connected to the why behind your actions. Chapter 4. Follow-through mindsets. In this chapter, Peter Hollins explores the importance of adopting the right mental frameworks, what he calls follow-through mindsets. He argues that successful people don't necessarily have more time, talent, or motivation. They simply think differently about progress and persistence. These individuals embrace discomfort, expect obstacles, and view setbacks as part of the journey, rather than signs to stop. One key mindset is seeing execution as a habit, not a one-time push, something built through daily action, not bursts of inspiration. Hollins also emphasizes the power of identity. When you start thinking of yourself as someone who always follows through, your behavior naturally begins to align with that belief. Instead of relying on willpower, you create consistency by shifting how you see yourself. By internalizing traits like grit, patience, and self-belief, you build a mental foundation that helps you push forward even when you don't feel like it. In short, mindset isn't just a motivational concept. It's a practical tool that shapes how you act, decide, and ultimately, succeed. Chapter 5: The Science of Smashing Procrastination. In this chapter, Peter Hollins dives into the psychology and science behind procrastination, breaking down why we delay tasks even when we know they're important. He explains that procrastination isn't about laziness. It's a coping mechanism to avoid negative emotions like fear, anxiety, or self-doubt. When a task feels overwhelming, uncertain, or unpleasant, our brain seeks short-term relief by shifting our attention to easier or more enjoyable activities. The key to overcoming procrastination, Hollins argues, is learning how to interrupt this emotional cycle and take control of your actions. He offers practical strategies backed by behavioral science, such as using the 5-minute rule, committing to work on a task for just 5 minutes, and breaking big goals into tiny, manageable steps to reduce mental resistance. Hollins also encourages building routines that limit decision-making and reduce willpower fatigue. By understanding the root causes of procrastination and applying these science-backed techniques, we can train ourselves to act despite discomfort and turn consistency into a reliable habit. Chapter 6: No Distraction Zone. In this chapter, Peter Hollins focuses on the modern enemy of productivity: distraction. He explains that in today's world, filled with constant notifications, social media, and endless entertainment, our ability to stay focused has become one of the most valuable and rare skills. Distraction isn't just about losing a few minutes of work. It fragments our attention, drains our mental energy, and makes follow-through nearly impossible. Hollins emphasizes that to finish what you start, you must intentionally create a distraction-free environment that supports deep work. He offers practical methods for building what he calls a no-distraction zone, both physically and mentally. This includes removing tempting triggers, setting up focused time blocks, and using tools like the Pomodoro technique or website blockers. More importantly, he encourages building internal awareness, recognizing when your mind starts to wander and gently bringing it back to the task at hand. According to Hollins, mastering focus is not about working harder, but about creating the right conditions that allow you to work smarter and with more intention. Chapter 7: Deadly Pitfalls. In this chapter, Peter Hollins identifies the most common and dangerous traps that derail follow-through and prevent people from completing what they start. These deadly pitfalls include perfectionism, unrealistic expectations, lack of clarity, and relying too heavily on motivation. Hollins explains that perfectionism often disguises itself as high standards, but in reality, it causes paralysis, leading people to delay or abandon tasks for fear they won't do them flawlessly. Likewise, expecting quick results or underestimating how much effort is required can quickly kill momentum. Another major pitfall is relying on motivation alone. Hollins stresses that motivation is temporary and unreliable. What truly sustains progress is commitment, systems, and disciplined action, even when you don't feel like it. He also warns against vague goals and poor planning, which lead to confusion and procrastination. By recognizing these mental and behavioral traps, you can prepare for them, overcome them, and stay focused on completion. The message is clear. Finishing isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent, realistic, and self-aware. Chapter 8: Daily Systems for Success. In the final chapter, Peter Hollins shifts the focus from mindset and motivation to practical, repeatable action, what he calls daily systems. He explains that successful people don't rely on bursts of inspiration. They rely on structured routines that make execution automatic. Systems are what carry you through on the days when you feel tired, distracted, or unmotivated. Instead of obsessing over end goals, Hollins encourages readers to fall in love with the process, because it's the small, consistent actions that ultimately lead to big results. He outlines how to build these systems around your strengths, schedule, and goals, such as setting time blocks, building habits around key tasks, and creating feedback loops to stay on track. Hollins reinforces the idea that success is not about doing more, but about doing what matters consistently. By turning effort into habit and action into ritual, you eliminate the need for constant decision-making and willpower. In the end, your ability to finish what you start comes down to the systems you create and stick to every single day. Starting is easy. Finishing, that's where the real growth happens. If this book gave you even one insight, imagine what your life could look like if you applied just a few of these tools every single day. Let us know in the comments. What's one thing you are finally ready to finish? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Simplified Whispers, where big ideas are made simple, and every story helps you grow. Until next time, keep showing up, keep taking action, and finish what you start.